Ow. Arthur. It's a TV show, it's about an aardvark. It's got a really flat face, which doesn't really make any sense, but whatever. It's been the topic of some debate recently, and people are mad, like this guy.
Bruh, they got my man Arthur. Come on!
And you know what? I don't blame him, because recently, right, Arthur, on the debut episode of its 22nd season, had the audacity to openly show one of its rodent characters saying that they don't like cats. I mean, look at this.
I wouldn't feed it to a stray cat, and I don't even like cats.
It's just unacceptable. This should not be allowed on television. This is unacceptable language, and it should be pulled from the air. I mean, why? Who wouldn't be annoyed about this? I mean, what do you mean that's not what they're annoyed about?
Man, I don't know what to say anymore. Gay Mafia.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Gay Mafia, come here.
Oh, you did say Gay Mafia. I see. I just wasn't sure if I just misheard you or something, because I thought you said, what?
Come here. I'm sorry.
Hey, buddy, don't apologize to me. Apologize to these people. Mobsters famous enough to have their own Wikipedia article, and who are also gay. People like Dominic Noonan, Robert Mormando, and one of the Cray twins. Okay, fine, he was actually bi, but the point is, you don't fuck with the Cray twins.
All that I ask is that you leave my childhood alone. That's all I ask. Is that too much? Huh? You have everything. You have Hollywood.
Guys, the Gay Mafia have taken over Hollywood. We gotta, you know what? No, it's fine. We can sort this. We just need to let everyone know. I'll get on the phone. We'll sort this out. Hello, operator. I need you to get me Ellen DeGeneres, Rachel Maddow, and Stephen Fry.
You have a presidential candidate.
Okay, this is actually a serious question for once. Why would a president or a prime minister or just a leader of your country being gay affect their ability to lead your country in the slightest? They're not going to make gay marriage mandatory.
I feel like I'm gonna wake up and find Dexter's Laboratory. Dee Dee's gonna turn out to be a lesbian.
Dexter's Laboratory hasn't been on the air since 2003.
We're gonna have the Animaniacs. Wacko's gonna turn out to be what I identify as non-binary.
That one hasn't been on the air since 1998.
I mean, it's gonna get to the point where I'm turning the channel. I'm gonna have Johnny Bravo apologizing for his toxic masculinity.
That one is 2004.
For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, for those of you who aren't up to date with cartoons and stuff, as I am.
I get mad when people do things that I don't like.
Arthur's been around for quite some time. Just recently made one of the characters, Mr. Ratburn. They made him turn out to be gay.
That's why he is annoyed. Okay, I mean, you know what, no, fair enough. I suppose depending on how, that was handled, it could maybe be something to, complain about. So what happened? Did he shove a gerbil up the teaching assistant's ass? Did he explain to his class how he and his boyfriend Chuck have sex in graphic detail? You know what, let's just watch the episode, we'll have a look, we'll judge it ourselves. Oh, so it was handled in a very, respectful, well-intentioned manner. So this guy was just making a video just to let his audience know, and, that's all it was. His video's finished, right? There's nothing more to say on the matter, surely.
Why?
Why not?
You already know why.
Why not?
There is no reason.
If there's no reason, then why is this video 8.5 minutes long?
Other than indoctrination, other than propaganda, other than right think.
And the earth is flat. The government is poisoning us with chemtrails. 9/11 was an inside job. That's how you sound.
Here's what really upsets me. Here's what just upsets me just from an animation standpoint. From a directorial standpoint. In the episode, the kids are just like, oh, okay, the world is changing. And that's it.
Okay, that has absolutely nothing to do with the animation, and you should really stop criticizing and critiquing these things when you don't understand how to do that. It's really not a good look. But then nothing is a good look for idiots.
You want to tell me all these years, Arthur, all of them, all these years, and then this leads to this. And they're just like, oh, okay.
Okay, the show's been going on for over 20 years, and none of the characters have aged in that time. Same thing that you get in The Simpsons and Family Guy and American Dad and South Park. The point being that time has no relevance and no meaning in cartoons like this.
Come on now, you can't even sell it to me properly.
But there's nothing to sell you.
You can't even sell it to me with some authenticity. Come on, really? They're not gonna have questions, and I'm like, well, did you guys ever think about that? Did you guys ever notice that?
What would there have been for a 9-year-old to notice? Did he always wear rainbow pattern suits into the classroom? Did they see him dancing shirtless with other men at a pride parade?
Nothing. They're just gonna, just like that, accept it. And you wanna know what that does? You know what that does? That just reinforces how you should behave.
What, it reinforces the idea that you should be civil towards people, respectful, and let them do things that they're in their legal right to do in the country in which you live.
That just reinforces to the child, oh, well, I should just accept it. That's it. No questions, no reason.
Actually, yes, that's exactly what your children should do.
Honestly, hearing this, I wasn't surprised. Because they have drag time storytelling.
Link, please, or evidence, or, something? Don't you sass me. I was just asking you to give some evidence to your statement.
Do you really think I'm going to be shocked when it comes to find out that, a cartoon on PBS has a gay wedding?
Dude, you've made a nearly 10-minute video explaining and showing how shocked, butthurt, and triggered you are.
They've already conditioned us for this nonsense.
For nonsense that, again, is completely legal in the country in which you live.
I remember back in the day, like back in the 90s, where I could sit down and, I could turn on Cartoon Network. I can turn on Cartoon Network and there wouldn't be a problem. I'd watch Toonami, Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, Reboot, like Cow and Chicken, Ed, Ed and Eddie, all the classics, right? All the classics. There was no political propaganda injected into that. It was just good, fun cartoons. That's all it was. You'd watch, Animaniacs.
No, I do actually agree with you. Animaniacs is a pretty good show, and they were never political. The time that Brain ran for president, not political. Time they helped Lincoln write the Gettysburg Address, not political. And this joke certainly wasn't political either.
According to this, I'd say we've lost our way.
This isn't a map. It's a campaign flyer for the Republican Party.
I know. That's why I'd say we've lost our way. As a country, I mean.
Where parents nowadays don't have that luxury. They don't get to just put their child in front of the TV. It's like, yeah, go watch Cartoon Network or go watch PBS. PBS. When you think of PBS, you think of, Elmo, Sesame Street, Big Bird, learning the alphabets, Count Dracula.
He's not called Count Dracula, he's called Count von Count. That's 5 times you've been wrong about shows now.
Yes, 5 is the number.
What he said.
You don't think of nonsense. You don't think of political propaganda. That's the thing you don't think about.
How is it political propaganda? For the 3rd time, gay marriage is legal in your country. Fine, people still frown upon it like you, but it's still legal. Besides, it's not like it was the president having a gay wedding, or a politician, or something like that. It was just a teacher, just an average, everyday person. Because
you just can't let your child just watch TV. Now you have to filter content.
I mean, surely parents have always had to filter content to some degree. I mean, it's good to keep an eye on what your children are doing and what they're watching, otherwise they might see something they shouldn't, like Love Island or Watership Down.
You have to do that now with animated films. You have to now watch the film before you even take your child to see it because you don't know what foolishness is going to be in there. I'm now covering stuff where it's in the gaming industry.
Much to my own detriment, I did have a brief look on your channel. I saw you did a video concerning Kratos potentially being bisexual, and I'd just like to point out that Kratos lived in ancient Greece.
Where it's seeped into, this activism, this progressiveness, that's what they want to call it. And that's how they see it. And that's one thing you guys have to understand, how, in order to defeat the enemy, you have to understand how the enemy thinks. They don't see anything wrong with this. As a matter of fact, if you would probably ask someone, a liberal, lefty, a progressive, they would be upset why this hasn't happened sooner.
Okay, I'm not going to go into too much detail because it's been covered in other videos and in other places, but it did happen sooner. Back in 2005, there was a spin-off show of Arthur that featured a lesbian couple who were mothers, and that wasn't allowed to be shown. That was banned.
That's what I kid you not, that's what they would say. They'd be like, well, this is way overdue. We should, of course, have this in cartoons and movies and films and everywhere. It's just normal.
But it is normal. Homosexuality is found in a lot of different species, not just humans. Let me break it down for you as simply as I possibly can. This is a graph I made up using readily available information on Google straight from the US Census Bureau. It's information from 2014 to 2017. I chose 3 random states, being California, New York, and Ohio. There are more people who are LGBT in the US as a whole than there are people who live in Ohio. And that was in 2017. Just for clarity, the way I got the numbers for LGBT people is this article was done by a company called Gallup, who took these percentages, then the US population as a whole, simple maths. Also, in the description, there's a link to this website. It's done by the UCLA Williams Institute. It's just a breakdown of various different demographics of LGBT people in America.
What if me as a parent, I shouldn't have to be forced to answer questions that it's not the time to answer those questions. I don't know how to put this politely and in a way so YouTube doesn't get all sensitive, but it's like I shouldn't have to be forced in this position. Because I don't want to come home one day and have my son going, Daddy, what was that? What just happened with Tom and Brad? What just happened there?
Okay, let me try and explain this to you as simply and as plainly as I can. Your children will not and do not have a need to understand the intricacies of a relationship, let alone a gay relationship. They do not need to know the ins and outs of homosexual sex, or sex at all for that matter. All you need to do is explain to them that it's a normal thing that can happen. When I was a child, my understanding of marriage was that it's when me and someone who I care about very, very much say we'll be together forever. That was it.
You know what? I don't have a problem with them coming out with their own shows, with the LGBT show and anything like that. If you want to do that show, fine, knock yourself out. That way I can at least say we're not watching that show, because I already know what it's about. The problem is when they retroactively do it.
You're using that word wrong. With this episode of Arthur, it's not something that was retroactively changed, it's something that was actively changed. Here's the difference. J.K. Rowling coming out and saying, oh, by the way, I know it's not very clear in the films or the books, but Dumbledore, massive gay. That's retroactive because that is finished. That story has been told. This is active because the story is ongoing.
It was like, yeah, you can watch Arthur. I grew up with Arthur, right? And then they put this in there. Surprise! Gotcha! They're creating shows. Well, let me explain to you what the gender spectrum is and all of that. I just think we need to have shows that combat those shows.
Remember how you said this like 30 seconds ago?
You know what? I don't have a problem with them coming out with their own shows.
So that kind of tells me that you do actually have a problem.
The worst thing you can do is to be desensitized when you see stuff like that. It's the worst thing that can happen, and that's what they want you to happen.
No, Lucas, that's the best thing that can happen. You know why? Because gay marriage doesn't matter, in the sense that it's not a big deal. You become desensitized to things such as the sun rising and the sky being blue, and as such, you don't really take any notice of those things. When you become desensitized to things that have no real relevance to you, it stops being an issue. Let me direct you to something that Morgan Freeman said in an interview once.
Making it a bigger issue than it needs to be is the problem we have.
Okay, I know he's talking about race in that clip, but I feel that the point is pretty self-explanatory and fits here as well. If you stop making a fuss over things that really don't matter, then any issues surrounding those things will go away eventually.
You have to fight. There's a battle, and you're a soldier, whether you like it or not. I don't know if you're on the front lines, but you're definitely on the battlefield.
Well, Lucas, using your own analogy, you're armed with a potato gun and a water balloon.
Anyways, guys, that's the video.
Oh, thank God for that. You know, I'll be real. I didn't think I'd get through it. I mean, I thought that Flat Earth video was done, but this is just something else. But you know what, guys? We made it. We pulled through, and I think we've come out stronger the other side. And oh, he's still talking.
Let me know what you guys think. Whether or not you believe Lucas, why are you so homophobic, huh?
Go on.
You should be happy that there are shows that can teach your children about the world outside. Or if you have to believe, you know what, let me teach my child what I want to teach them. How about that? And then when they turn 18 and get out of my house, they can do whatever they damn well please.
Okay, well, aside from the fact that you just didn't answer that question at all, I really don't want you to have children, because if you're this upset over a cartoon rat being gay, I can't imagine what would happen if one of your kids turned out to be gay. And also, you just wouldn't teach them good lessons. But most importantly, I just don't want there to be more of you. Like, there's already one, and that's arguably too many.
Till next time, guys. Be amazing.
Well, now that pile of us is finished, if you could excuse me, I'm going to go back into hibernation. Woo, rat pride.